Good to see you, my friend. I'm meteorologist Dave Schwartz for the Orange County Post-Sentinel. And some of our big fans pictured here, Sean Noonan of Poughkeepsie, Kathy Nelson of Kingston, New York, and out in Wurtsboro, Debbie Jasowski-Jarden. Good to have you viewing here today. And we are so glad to have a sponsor. We are sponsored today by the Newburgh Power Equipment Company. They're located on Route 207 in New Windsor. Call them at 845-564-6960. I'll tell you, with all this great weather that we've had lately, you'll want to get out and do some work and get some of their power equipment. They have the most incredible inventory of power equipment. Check them out. Today's weather word is downslope. What is a downslope wind? Well, a downslope wind is air that's coming downslope. It could be coming down a mountain range, or it could be gently coming down off the plains, but something very interesting happens. Now, imagine this is a mountain range here, okay, this beautiful mountain. The wind coming in from this side. The wind would be going over. This would be an upslope wind. On this side, it would be a downslope wind. Now, a downsloping wind dries out and heats up, hence the red arrow. But the upsloping wind cools off. But then you'd think, well, it cools off a little bit, it warms up a little bit, the temperature would be the same on either side, but that's not the case. Because on the upslope side, the air cools, and as it cools, moisture condenses out of the air, forming clouds. As the air rises, once we're in the clouds, the rate at which the temperature falls lessens. While it's still dry, it's dropping at 5.5 degrees per 1,000 feet. Once it's saturated, 3 1/3 degrees per 1,000 feet. Once it begins heating up, it's all heating up at the maximum level. So we're cooling off, then cooling off less, and then heating up to the max. That's why, even at the same elevation, the same latitude, on the upslope side, our temperature would be 80. In this case, on the downslope side, same elevation, your temperature 91 degrees. Downsloping and upsloping winds. Down here in the southern plains, you can see the downsloping winds in the wake of an area of low pressure here that's causing all the snow back up to the Great Lakes. The severe weather along the convective line of thunderstorms on Thursday through the mid-south and down into Louisiana and Mississippi, and then the clouds into our neighborhood along and near a frontal boundary. Now that front's going to be here on Friday too. It's going to be down around Philadelphia and Baltimore and back into South Jersey. We'll be on the cool side. It's chilly out there now. Easterly winds will keep it in the 40s on Friday with an increasing chance of rain and some heavy rain here in the morning, and then in the afternoon tapering off in the evening here in the Hudson Valley. Then over the weekend there'll be a slow clear. We'll see a little bit of sunshine on Saturday, back in the 50s. Sunday looks like mostly sunny. Now it's time to head into the Caribbean. And this Caribbean forecast is brought to you by the Caribbean Weather Center with Olive Andre and Ramzito Samadar. Check out this satellite picture and you know what we're talking about. The CWC knows that it's warm this time of year. It's warm all year round here in the Caribbean because we have a high sun angle and very warm water. Look at this. High pressure centered off the East Coast. Here are those storms we just saw in that satellite image. Those clouds right in here, the severe thunderstorms, and then the wet weather heading into the Hudson Valley. Well, further south, it's high pressure all through the Caribbean. Water temperature is running very nice. San Juan, at last check, your surf temperature 81 degrees. Up here in the northern Bahamas, the cool spot, water temperature in the low 70s. The forecast is for this to continue. High pressure sitting out here. It'll weaken somewhat later on this week. That means that the trade winds will be a little lighter and it'll perhaps send you into the air conditioning a little earlier than you might have if a sea breeze were blowing. Otherwise, temperatures will be in the 80s to even near 90 down here in Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, the ABC Islands. That's your weather word. That's your weather here for the United States. A look into the Caribbean. We are OC Post Sentinel. So glad you tuned in. Want to give a shout out to Kathy Trudeau, Versland of Mountainville, also Nicholas Bard of Ulster Park, and over in Cornwall, Mary Babcock. See you next week, my friend.